What's up? Coach Pennington here, and this is another episode of the Championship Season podcast. On this episode, I want to cover a new concept about goal achievement that I just recently read or listened to an audiobook about. It was a book called Rethinking Positive Thinking by Gabrielle Oettingen. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it was a really good book. It was, I don't remember where I kind of found it, but most of the books I find are on someone gets interviewed on a podcast, and I find it interesting, and I go out and find the book and read it. But this was pretty neat. I was looking for a book on, just positivity or neutral thinking, or, just how to be, more inspirational, that kind of stuff. And so this book was not exactly what I thought it was. It was basically kind of talking about how positive thinking can be it can be an obstacle. It can get in your way. It can actually derail you if you if you use it incorrectly. It's important to be optimistic and believe in what you're doing, but it can also throw you off. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. The main concept in the book is called mental contrasting. And a big goal setting guy, you have to can't hit a target you can't see. So I like setting goals. I like achieving goals more than I like setting them. But I wanted to, kind of just continue to get better in that area. And this was really interesting to me. And I've heard this before, and I've actually done it kind of, I don't say accidentally, but I read about something like this before and tried it once, and it worked well. But mental contrasting, so it was really intriguing to me. But basically, when we set goals, we're sitting in an air conditioned room like I'm sitting in right now. And we write out all these things that we want to do and we're going to do, and we're excited to achieve them. And we're kind of picturing this, amazing outcome of what we're going to achieve, and it's going to be awesome. But that's, it's unrealistic what's really going to happen is there's going to be obstacles. It's going to be tough. It's going to be way more difficult than just the room you're sitting in that air conditioning, thinking about how great all this stuff's going to be. It's going to be way harder than that. And that's kind of what the book was talking about, to rethink it. Sometimes if you're just thinking about all these things you're going to achieve, and you're visualizing and saying these affirmations about the future that hadn't happened yet that you're going to do, it's just when you hit those obstacles, you're going to quit, or you're going to rationalize it, start over, or, find a way to, not achieve that goal because, those obstacles, show up, and you're like, well, maybe I'll restart on Monday, or I'll restart next month, or, New Year's, or whatever it may be. But mental contrasting is a concept where you write out your goals, and then you write out the obstacles that you're going to face, while trying to achieve these goals. So you go ahead and write out, all the things that you can think of that are going to pop up along the way that might, get in your way of achieving the goal. So, if you're trying to lose 10 pounds, obviously an obstacle would be you really want to eat dessert or have dessert. And, that's just one of the obstacles. It just looks good. It's going to taste good. It'll be something that gets in your way, or you're hungry and you just got to go to McDonald's because you got to eat real fast. Those are some of the obstacles. So you write out, all those obstacles, and that way, you have an idea of, okay, that's kind of the mental contrasting. You have these exciting goals that you're going to achieve, but you also write out, here's the obstacles I'm going to face, along the way. That way, you have a game plan. For me, it's everything is related to football and sports. But it's kind of like, what's the defense you're going to see, or what's the team you're going up against, and those are the obstacles. So you write out those obstacles. That way, you're not surprised when they show up, and you already have a plan in place, for when those obstacles pop up. Obviously, you're not going to know exactly what obstacles are going to happen. There's going to be some that you have no idea about that'll just pop up. So you got to be ready for that as well. But I think we always have an idea of some of the obstacles we're going to face, at least some of the main ones. So one of the things that they talked about in this book is an acronym that she used, and it's called it's WOOP. It's WOOP. And there's an app for this. I downloaded it. It's free, obviously. And you can use this. I've used it, for different things, whether it's a year-long goal, month-long goal, week-long goal, or a day-long goal. It doesn't really matter. You can use this WOOP acronym to have mental contrasting help you achieve your goal. So WOOP stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, and plan. And this is what I've been working on, and I've been using this since I listened to the book. But your wish is obviously your goals. You write out what you want to achieve: lose 10 pounds, bench press 300 pounds or whatever, whatever it is, read 10 books. You write out your wishes, and then you write out, how you'll feel is the outcome part, how you'll feel when these wishes come true. I'll be fulfilled, feel like I'm doing great. I'll be smarter. I'll feel, be in better shape, healthier, whatever. You write out all the things that, the outcome of what, why you want the goal. And then you write out the obstacles, what you're going to face along the way in trying to achieve that. And you write out everything that you can, think about that will come up. And then you come up with a plan to overcome those obstacles. And all that's in the app, and it's pretty easy, and you can fill it out. And it definitely helped me out. I've done it a couple times. It's a really effective concept, and I've been using it a lot recently, and I really used it. Started it this month of June when I redid my goals for the month. We're all halfway through June, but me and my wife took a vacation. We went to the beach and we went to Disney and with our 3 kids. And I wrote down, obviously want to have a great vacation, make memories, those kind of things. But I wrote out some of the obstacles. I knew that it was going to be extremely hard to stay patient. We're going to be driving, packing, constantly, trying to parent our kids, making sure they're not fighting each other in line at Disney. And I knew it was going to be really hard. So I wrote out some of those obstacles. It would have been easy for me to sit there and be like, oh, it's going to be the best family vacation ever. We're going to have so much fun. And that wouldn't have been reality. There were going to be difficult times. There were going to be obstacles that popped up. And so I just wrote those down. The big one for me was just patience, just trying to be, more patient. And so I just kind of wrote out, losing patience, stuff like that, the obstacles that I would face, just being too tired to do certain things, but wanted to push through them for my kids and my wife. And so I wrote all those things down. And then I even wrote something that I think was extremely important, but I wrote down unforeseen obstacles. Just like, who knows? We don't know what's going to pop up, but I wrote that down. I read these, not every morning as consistently as I should, but I read them pretty consistently. So those kind of images of those, obstacles stick out in my mind. And that one really stuck out, the unforeseen obstacles that would pop up. And then, I kind of wrote down my plan, what I was going to do to try to overcome it. I even had this, I kind of had this, I don't know if you call it a superhero or whatever, different persona. I called it Ninja Dad. I was going to be the Ninja Dad of patience. And me and my wife were laughing about it. That was my kind of persona that I was going to take on to make sure that I was patient with my kids and everything that was going on with, trying to get to Disney and trying to get to the beach and just trying to make all these things happen so we could have a great experience. Once when we got there, when we were doing all these things, obviously obstacles popped up. Anytime I was, something would pop up, I'd kind of remind myself that I, needed to be patient, that my job, as the dad, as the husband, was to try to solve the problems, whatever they were. Don't get upset about them. Just, you're Ninja Dad, figure it out, solve the problem, And so that's kind of what I did. And every time we faced something, I'm not going to say I never lost my patience. That would be an absolute bold-faced lie, but I didn't lose my patience as long. I didn't get as frustrated as long. I would remind myself in the middle of that anger or frustration that, hey, you knew this was coming. You need to solve this problem. What do you need to do next? How do you stay patient? I even had like a breathing technique that I'd written down that I would use to just calm down. Like count to 10, something as simple as that. And it doesn't stop the obstacles from happening. It just keeps those little pity parties we have from being, longer than they should be. My goal is to have just the quickest pity party ever and then move on. But I like I said, I wrote down that unforeseen obstacles. That was a big one. And while we were down there, we went from the beach to Disney, and we were moving our luggage into the Disney hotel room. And then we went straight over to Epcot, and it was awesome. It was magical. There was so many great moments. There was plenty of me losing my patience, but plenty of great moments, and we were having a great time. And the next day, I went to go to the car around lunchtime, and I grabbed my keys, and my key fob was gone for the car, to drive the car. And I asked my wife, "Did you take the key fob to go to the car or anything?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, just like, oh my God, my key fob is gone. it broke off my keychain while I was moving luggage or pulling luggage up the stairs or whatever. And so I looked around. I was, filed a report at the hotel, and like I was kind of panicking, but I knew this was coming. So like, I didn't know this particular event was coming, but I knew there was some unforeseen obstacle, and this one was bad, right? I called AAA, I called Kia. I had to, I got a hold of them. They would have got me a new fob. They couldn't get me a new fob until June 28th, which means that we'd have been stuck in Florida, and for a couple extra weeks. There's no way that would have worked. So I started, just kept working to solve the problem. I'm not gonna say I didn't get frustrated. I did a couple times, but it wasn't very long. It was quick, pieces of impatience. But fortunately, I have great parents, and I called them, and they were able to FedEx our other key fob down to Florida to us. We got it there overnight. Got it there the next day. I picked it up in the hotel lobby, and it wasn't that easy. We lost it. We couldn't track it. No one knew where the key fob was. So there was even another obstacle, even with that obstacle. But we ended up getting it. It worked out great. I'm lucky to have great parents. Shout out to mom and dad, Becky and Ernie Pennington, for getting that done for me and taking on some of that stress and helping me out. But we didn't miss any Disney time. I didn't, obviously I stressed about it a little bit, but it was just, it just wasn't as long as I normally would. I would have been beating myself up the rest of the day. Who knows if I would have called my parents and even, tried to get the key fob mailed, to Florida. It just kind of, I was just trying all options to solve the problem. And when I got done, I was, as corny as it may seem, I told my wife, I was like, Ninja Dad, Ninja Dad strikes again. Ninja Dad figured it out. And all that was because of, just writing those things down, the obstacles. And that's kind of what, just an example of WOOP and of mental contrasting and how it can help you. It's not going to fix any of your problems, but it will make your problems, it'll help you overcome those problems quicker. And, it's like you have a game plan. You know what the defense is going to do. You know that, the blitz is coming, so you know how to attack it, or, you understand what you're going to go up against. And when you do see it, obviously we're human. You're going to have those emotions, but you're going to be able to remember, okay, I knew this was coming. My job is to solve the problem. In my case, my persona was Ninja Dad. My wife, she called herself Positive Polly, trying to, stay positive throughout the whole trip. And that's, just trying to be intentional and to make sure we had a great trip with our family. And there were plenty of other obstacles along the way. But it was an incredible vacation, obviously one that we'll remember forever, and our kids will remember forever. And those obstacles in the long run, they're just funny stories. This key fob story is something that we'll remember forever. Next time anyone out there going on vacation, take both key fobs and lock one up somewhere where you can have it, just in case your key fob breaks off on your luggage. And I lose things from time to time, so I'm not the most not the best person for for not losing things. So it's happened to me before. So next time, definitely bringing both key fobs. But I will know next time that there's going to be some other obstacle that's going to pop up. And, luckily in my life, I don't have any major issues, but we all have things that bother us. We want to do better. This helps you overcome it. So I highly recommend, if you want to listen to the book or read the book, it's really good. It's a lot of empirical data to kind of back up what she's talking about and how this stuff really works. And they did study, different study groups and found out, how much better these groups are when they think about all the obstacles they're going to have to overcome and not just all these great things they're going to achieve. So try it out, download the app. It's free. It's WOOP, WOOP. I took it a step further. And one thing that I do is I kind of write out all the obstacles I'm going to face in the 4 main areas of my life, which for me is family, health, work, and hobbies. So I write out, all the obstacles I'm going to face in trying to be a great father, husband, things I want to do at home. I'm going to write out all the obstacles I'm going to face for my job. I'm going to write down all the obstacles I'm going to face with trying to be healthier and stronger and more fit and all those things. And then I write out all the, I basically write out one sentence that I'm going to use to overcome each of those obstacles. So, obviously for my, losing patience with my kids, just being the Ninja Dad of patience, I kind of remind my, it's corny as hell, I know, but it's something that just sticks in my mind, and it's stupid, and it just like gets me out of that it gets me out of my emotions, and that way I can, as my boy Hollis Lewis put it, mentally respond and not emotionally react. It's like something that helps me hit the pause button. And so I just kind of write out a sentence for each of those obstacles, or a saying or a phrase, that, that way, when it does pop up and I do get emotional or start reacting in a poor way, I can remind myself, hey, chill out. You knew this was coming. Here's what you need to do. Let's start solving the problem. So I took it a step further, and I have a little sentence for each obstacle that I'm going to face. And I also, especially after this vacation, always write out that the unforeseen obstacles, the flat tire, losing your key fob, whatever, forgetting your tickets, or all these things that happen to us, along the way. So I have these little affirmations that pop up in my mind when these things happen. But I do read them every morning. I think that's something that helps. It sticks in my mind because I've read it every morning, and when these things pop up, I can remember those phrases, and it gets me back to neutral. Another book that I read called Neutral, is it called Neutral Thinking? I can't remember. It's by Trevor Mowad, but basically, like, when a car is going in reverse, you don't just throw it into drive. Like, positive thinking, that won't work. If everything's going wrong, you can't just say, oh, never mind, it's going to be awesome. You're gonna blow the transmission. It's just it's unrealistic. But if you put it in neutral, if you're going to reverse, you stop the car, you put it in neutral before you put it back into drive. You just need, I need something to get me to neutral when I'm backpedaling because I'm angry or impatient. I can get to neutral, and then I think, what do I need to do next to win? How do I solve this problem? How do I get to what I need to do, to achieve my goal, or to win the day, or win the week, or whatever. So it's really useful. Try it out. It was a really good book, and just a really interesting concept. You don't have to read the book, just get the app and you can just try it out for yourself. Or, kind of think about, if you're setting some goals for the summer, or you have a vacation, try it for your vacation, try it for this week, try it for the day. Just write out, what obstacles you're going to face, whenever you're trying to achieve this week. And then keep track of the things that pop up, because you'll be surprised how many obstacles you face along the way. I mean, you can't, there's no way to predict them, but you can expect them, and you can do your best to overcome them and make sure you can get to neutral. So I hope that helps anyone that listens to this. I really liked it. I'll use it forever. I'm going to continue to use it. I'm going to use it with my team. I used it today with my staff. We talked about some of the obstacles we're going to face as we go through our camp circuit and our fundraising. We have golf tournament and all kind of kids camps and prospect camps, and we just talked about some of the obstacles we'll face, how we're going to overcome them. And when they pop up in our first camp tomorrow, one already popped up today. We had an obstacle already pop up, kind of laughed it off and said, okay, well, let's what do we need to do to solve it, and let's move forward. So anyways, that's it for the Championship Season podcast. Mental contrasting. I'm out. See you later.